Let's see, do you guys have any questions here today?
Oh, there's one.
So as you can see, there's a great question by Ollie Loon, who actually asked the question about what is my favorite Mercedes. Everybody knows I talk a lot about BMWs and a lot of other premium cars, but specifically, what's the best Benz in my opinion? Let's get into it now. So let's get into some of the details that really define why this is the best Mercedes ever produced. Now, back in 1979, the Emperor of Iran had an idea. Thought about this great Mercedes Benz that could be used as both utilitarian for personal use as well as a possibility of injecting this vehicle into the military. In 1979, it was introduced to the public and it was actually as well known as the Wolf. So in 1980, the first Popemobile adopted the use of this vehicle. And of course, it had a thermoplastic top. And after a couple of years of normal production and standard use, the Argentina army decided to incorporate it in 1981 as part of their military. After a couple of years, they realized that, wait a minute, let's refine this just a little bit. The initial start of it was very coarse, very utilitarian, but in 81 they decided to start adding some refinements like a winch, headlight protective covers, an auxiliary fuel tank, and an automatic transmission, just to name a few upgrades. So in 1990, Mercedes-Benz gave it an entire new facelift and called it the G-Wagon. Yes, the G-Wagon. At that time, this vehicle came with a wood-trimmed interior, permanent four-wheel drive locking differential, ABS, and shortly thereafter it also came out for a civilian version that had cruise control, running boards, stainless steel tire cover, and of course the famous or infamous Mercedes burl wood trim. So by 1994, over 100,000 of these G models have been sold. And then in 1996, the G-Wagon came out with a electronically controlled 5-speed automatic transmission. Then as we move along, in 1998, a 300 horsepower V8 was available in this G-Wagon. So the original generations, designated the 460 and 461, actually had a whole host of different engines as it transitioned through the years. Now, it was originally based as a very utilitarian vehicle, and the engine drivetrains were very much that. Originally, it came out with a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, and then moved up from a 2.3, a 2.8, 2.4 liter, and then you were able to later on get a 2.5 and a 3-liter diesel engine. And then we transitioned into the 90s, where they now called it the 463 or the G-Class. And from that point on, they transitioned into several different powertrains. For example, a 2.8 liter inline 6, a 3.2 liter V6, a 5-liter V8, and then they started adding some heat to the equation. For example, supercharged 5.4 liter V8, or a twin-turbo 5.5 liter V8. And then topping the charts was a wonderful 6-liter V12 engine that was also twin-turbocharged with mass amounts of torque. Let's also not forget, how about a 2.9 and a 4-liter diesel engine packaged in there, as well as other options. And then we hit the Millennium, the 2000s. And so this brings us back to the question originally asked, which is your favorite Mercedes? And it is the G-Wagon, no questions, hands down. And more specifically, how about a 2005 G55 AMG? For me, that is the vehicle to have. Now, current models are even faster or more powerful. However, this was still where the chassis was truly true to itself and was still very utilitarian. Now they dress them up a little bit more, and they're definitely siding a lot more on the luxury side. However, this was the perfect blend of utilitarian and luxury, and it was really the ultimate in G-Wagon. Regardless to say, all G-Wagons are very, very cool and really deserve a cult following. As a matter of fact, one of the main reasons I love the G-Wagons so much is A, they come with aluminum doors, fenders, and hood, which kind of give them that rust-free feel to them. Now, they are also burly and they have a lot of steel construction, but because they're based on a military-grade vehicle, they're built very ruggedly. It doesn't take you very long to look through the modern list of SUVs out there on the market, and they're all really the same. Unibody based on cars, front-wheel drive, maybe all-wheel drive, part-time. They're really minivans or cars with sort of a dressed-up SUV concept. Now, there are some unique vehicles out there, but honestly, the only vehicles that truly deserve this level of cult status, in my opinion, like the G-Wagon, are the Jeep Wrangler, or TJ, YJ, CJ as previously known. Also a Land Cruiser by Toyota, and the 1970 generation Range Rover, the original one that actually was a utilitarian vehicle. So just when you think you might get bored of the older generation G-Wagons, along comes the newest. Now you can go with base models, but you can also get the hot, brand new 2020 decked out G63 AMG that produces 0 to 60 times in well under 4 seconds. It's blisteringly fast, and that's the appeal. You have a vehicle that you can drive down Hollywood Boulevard. You have a vehicle that can go off-roading, and it's meant to do that because of the all-wheel drive and the 4x4 system. But you also have a vehicle that can take it to the racetrack and give any number of sports cars a run for their money. On top of all of that, it's utilitarian and it's luxury all packaged into one. It doesn't matter whether you get an early model with an inline 4 or a diesel engine or a base V8 or an AMG version. It doesn't really matter. The point is, it's always had the base fundamental design, and that's sturdy, rugged looks and sturdy, rugged performance. There's not much out there today in this wide world of minivan-based SUVs. This is truly the die-hard SUV. Yes, they're expensive, but the value is retained. And yeah, they do depreciate, and it doesn't take long to browse the auto traders to find some great deals out there on older used G-Wagons. However, if you calculate the percentage of loss and depreciation, they hold their value better than virtually any Mercedes out there today or yesterday. So the value is there, the versatility is there, the ruggedness, and the overall quality appeal. There's absolutely everything to love about it and nothing to hate about it. That's why, everybody, the G-Wagon is my favorite Mercedes. It does everything right and nothing wrong. So again, as always, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you guys aren't. If you are, thanks again for coming by. As well, if you want to see another great video right over here, that's 2020's best luxury cars available today.